friends, welcome to Newton Gate, where we make your dreams come true. In our last session, we have discussed the digestion and absorption part of the human physiology part. In this session, we are going to discuss the next topic from the chapter, that is the human digestive system along with its associated glands. So, let's begin.
So today we will learn the parts of the alimentary canal. Okay. So first part is the mouth, which leads to the buccal cavity. Then it leads to the next part, that is the esophagus. Esophagus leads to the stomach part. Then stomach leads to the small intestine, and small intestine leads to the large intestine, right? This was discussed in our last video. Then it leads to the anus part. So this is the total system or the digestive system, right? Now first we will learn about the three parts of buccal cavity. What are the three parts of buccal cavity? One is tongue, then teeth, and then salivary gland. Okay, salivary gland. Okay, so this is the structure of teeth. The oral cavity has a number of teeth and a muscular tongue. Okay, now each tooth is embedded in a socket of jawbone. This type of attachment is called the thecodont. Whenever the teeth is attached to a jawbone, it is termed as the thecodont. Okay, it is termed as the thecodont. So majority of mammals, including human beings, forms two sets of teeth during their life cycle. Okay, throughout their life cycle they form two types of teeth. What are they? One is the temporary teeth, or you can call it as milk teeth. Other one is the permanent teeth. Now you can see in this picture, this is a figure of the dentine system. Right, there are four kinds of teeth. So as there are four types of teeth are present, premolars, canines, molars and incisor, it is termed as the heterodont. Okay, as four kinds of teeth are present. So first these four teeth are called the incisors, and these two kind of teeth, these are the premolars, this is the canine teeth, and these are the molars. Okay, so an adult human has 32 permanent teeth, which are of four different types. That is why it is termed as heterodont dentition. Okay, it is termed as heterodont dentition. Okay, namely incisors, canines, premolars and molars. So arrangement of teeth in each half of the upper and lower jaw, there is a particular order it follows. Okay, what is a particular order? I, C, P, M and M. IC means incisor, then canines, premolars and molars. Okay, so there is a dental formula is there. What is that dental formula? Incisors, there are two, then two pairs, then one pair of canine, then two pairs of premolars and three pairs of molars. Again the same thing, this is the upper jaw and this one is the lower jaw. So these are basically the pairs. See, 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3, that means there are 8 pairs. in the upper jaw, and there are also 8 pairs in the lower jaw. So 8 pairs means what? 8 into 2, 16 teeth, and again 8 into 2, 16 teeth, that means 32 teeth all total. Okay. So this is very simple. You have to just memorize this dental formula and you can be easily answer any related questions to this. Okay. So the hard chewing surface of the teeth is made up of enamel, which helps in the mastication of food. Okay. So the tongue is a freely movable muscular organ attached to the floor of the buccal cavity. So we have already seen that we have studied the teeth portion, then the tongue is there. So what is the function of this tongue? Tongue consists of various kinds of taste buds, which helps us to detect or sense taste. Okay. Okay. Next part is the esophagus part. Okay, so esophagus is basically a narrow muscular tube-like structure through which food comes down to the stomach part. Okay, food comes to the stomach part through this narrow muscular tube-like organ. So esophagus is the part, it also connects the stomach to the mouth. So esophagus helps to connect stomach to the mouth. Okay. So there is a cartilaginous flap called epiglottis. So epiglottis is there. Epiglottis is there. What is its function? It is a flap that prevents entry of food into the glottis. It prevents. This sign indicates it prevents the food to enter into the glottis. Okay. It helps to prevent the food into the glottis during swallowing. So esophagus is a thin long tube which extends through the neck, thorax and diaphragm and leads into a J-shaped muscular bag, that is stomach. So stomach is a muscular bag-like structure. Okay. Stomach is a muscular bag-like structure. This is the structure of a stomach. See, it is J-shaped structure. Okay, it is a J-shaped structure. So, this portion is termed as the esophagus. It is the esophagus. Then this part is the fundus part. This is the fundus part. Then this part is termed as the cardiac. Then it is the body. Then it is the pyloric part. Okay, and this is the part that is termed as the duodenum. Okay, so it is a J-shaped organ which stores food for a long period of time. So there is also muscular sphincter muscles which regulates the opening of esophagus into the stomach. So stomach is located in the upper left portion of the abdominal cavity, which has 4 parts. That is the cardiac portion into which esophagus opens. Here in this cardiac portion, esophagus opens or moves down the food. Okay. Then comes the portion into which esophagus opens, that is the fundic region, and the cardiac portion into which esophagus opens, fundic region, then body, which is the main central region, and the pyloric portion which opens into the first part of the small intestine. So this pyloric portion opens into the directly into the small intestine part. Okay. It opens into the small intestine part. So small intestine is distinguishable into three regions: a C-shaped duodenum, a long coiled middle portion jejunum, and a highly coiled ileum. So this duodenum part basically is a part of the small intestine. Okay, basically a part of the small intestine. So how many parts the small intestine has? Small intestine has three parts. Okay, first is the duodenum, second is the jejunum, and the third one is the ileum. Okay, so small intestine has got three parts. So opening of the stomach into the duodenum is guarded by pyloric sphincter. This is a sphincter muscle termed as the pyloric sphincter. Okay, pyloric sphincter. A narrow finger-like tubular projection, that is a vermiform appendix, which is a vestigial organ, arises from caecum. Okay, so ileum opens into the large intestine. It consists of caecum, colon and rectum. So large intestine again consists of the another three parts. That is the caecum, colon and rectum. Okay. This vermiform appendix, which is a vestigial organ, arises from this part, that is the caecum part. Okay. Then this vermiform appendix, which is a vestigial organ. This is a vestigial organ which arises from the large intestine. So a very important question comes from this particular topic, that which part of the large intestine arises from the caecum part, or which vestigial organ arises from the large intestine part. So your answer will be vestigial organ. Okay. So the colon is again divided into other three parts, that is the ascending part, descending part and a sigmoid colon part. Okay, this descending part opens into the rectum, which finally opens out through the anus. Okay. Now the wall of the alimentary canal from esophagus to rectum possesses four layers. So there are four layers of wall layers of alimentary canal. First is the serosa. First one is the serosa. So serosa is the outermost layer and it is made up of thin mesothelium connective tissue. It is the outermost one. Okay. Outermost one. Then comes to the next part, which is the muscularis. Okay. Then comes the next layer, that is the muscularis. Muscularis is formed by smooth muscles, usually arranged in an inner circular and outer longitudinal layer. It is basically formed of the smooth muscles. Then after muscularis, there is submucosa and mucosa. The submucosal layer is formed of loose connective tissue. Submucosa is composed of loose connective tissue. And the last one is the mucosa part. Okay, last one is the mucosa. The innermost one is the mucosa. So it is the innermost one, innermost layer of the four layers of the alimentary canal. Okay. So this innermost layer forms irregular folds in the stomach and small finger-like projections called villi in the small intestine. So there comes a question that which layer of the alimentary system forms irregular folds? So this irregular folds is all often termed as this irregular folds of the wall layer of alimentary canal is termed as what? This question comes in the competitive exam, that is NEET. This is very important. These irregular folds are termed as rugae. Okay, RUGAE. Okay, these are irregular finger-like projections and which is found in the case of stomach. So this is the one thing, and the second thing is there are small finger-like foldings which are also formed by the wall layer of this mucosa wall layer, which is again termed as villi. Okay, that is termed as the villi, which is formed in the small intestine part. So these are the two different things. Okay, one is the folds, irregular folds, which is formed in the stomach, and another one is the finger-like projections which are formed in the small intestine. This modifications, what the question comes here, that what is the function of these modifications? These are the kind of modifications of the alimentary system. Now what are the functions or what are the significances of this kind of modifications? Okay, of this kind of modifications. Now these modifications actually increase the surface area enormously. Okay, so villi are supplied with a network of blood vessels and a large lymph vessels called the lacteal. So mucosal epithelium has globate cells which secrete mucus that help in lubrication. So that helps in the lubrication also. So this function, one function we can write it as lubrication. Another function we can write is increase in surface area. Increase in surface area. So these are the significances which can be which can be obtained for this kind of modifications taking place in the alimentary canal. Okay, in the wall layers of alimentary canal. Okay. So these are the parts of the alimentary canal. So that starts with the mouth and ends in the anus part, right? That ends in the anus part. Now we will study about the digestive glands. Okay, these are very interesting. That is digestive glands. Okay. Now this digestive glands, there are 3 digestive glands. Digestive glands associated with the alimentary canal include salivary gland, then liver, then pancreas. Okay, so saliva is the main product which is produced by the salivary glands. So saliva is the main product which is produced by the salivary gland. Now liver is the largest gland of the body. So it is the largest gland. Largest gland of human body. This is a very important question, often comes in NEET. Okay, so this is the largest gland of the human body and it is situated just in the abdominal cavity just below the diaphragm. So the hepatic lobules are the structural and functional units of liver. So if question comes that what are the functional units of liver, you have to answer it, that is hepatic lobules. Hepatic lobules are the structural and functional units of liver. Okay. Now, each lobule is covered by a thin connective tissue sheath that called the Glisson's capsule. So each lobule here it covered by a sheath, that is the Glisson's capsule. Now bile is secreted by the hepatic cells. These hepatic lobules contains hepatic cells which secretes the bile. So the product of liver is the bile. Okay. Next is the pancreas, which we call it as a compound gland, that is it has both the exocrine as well as endocrine functions. Okay, because it performs all this type of functions. So it is an elongated organ and it is a C-shaped organ. Okay, leaf-like structure, C-shaped organ. The exocrine portion secretes an alkaline pancreatic juice. So pancreas, two kinds of function, exocrine, another one is the endocrine. Now the exocrine part secretes an alkaline pancreatic juice. Alkaline pancreatic juice. Okay, and the containing some enzyme, and the endocrine portion secretes hormones. It secretes hormones such as insulin, then glucagon, etc. Okay, so two types of functions like exhibited by this pancreas, that is the exocrine, and the endocrine, that is the alkaline pancreatic juice. Another one is the hormones. It secretes hormones, that is the insulin and the glucagon part. Okay, so we will do up to this, that is the parts of the alimentary canal and along with its digestive glands. Okay, in the next part we will start with the another topic of this chapter. And okay,
Hope you have understood as well as enjoyed the session. So please like, share and subscribe our Newton Gate YouTube channel. I will come with the next session. Till then, bye bye.